Yeah, okay.
And you go and do,
It's live.
yeah,
Good afternoon. Actually, good
what the
morning
hell
from
for the,
Central Park, New York.
Oh,
Uh, our host for the show, Advaita Kala, has made an erroneous purchase of 3 lakhs on GoDaddy. If anyone from GoDaddy, Go Mummy, Go whatever is
whatever.
watching, please return her money. Actually, it's not her money, it's the money she's made off us over the last several years. So please return that money, which can be shared equally between the three of us and Sandip Ghosh's new checkmate, no pun intended, Kasparov. What we're discussing today is oh, there comes the bloody perennial eater. What we're discussing today is basically Daro mat, Bhago mat jibe that Rahul Gandhi took, which Narendra Modi converted into yet another triumphant riposte, which for the benefit of Pallavi is spelled Riposte, and it's not the Indian Post. So, what we're going to discuss today is A, how many times can one man make repeated mistakes and still be relevant? And I'm referring to the lad. Number two, what will it take for Rahul Gandhi to either get, buy, subscribe, or invent a brain? And number three, people like Pallavi Ghosh who have spent their lifetime sucking up to being friendly to the Congress, how do they respond to the realities of their erstwhile supporters? So let's begin the show
patrons.
with patrons. Well, she won't understand patrons. She'll think it's water tank pattern. So let's start the show with Sandeep Ghosh and with his newfound aura of being responded to by an out of work chess player. Sandeep, what are your views on this matter?
I don't know. I think Congress is behaving very, what should you say? They're arrogant. They've moved beyond arrogance. They're already behaving as if they've won the elections and waiting to just for June 4th to decide. I don't know where the confidence is emanating from. But I personally, Suhel, all of us, I suppose, none of us are card carrying BJP or RSS members. We were all right at the center, maybe a little left, a little right, maybe more right, people like me. The reason what puts us off towards Congress is this kind of a thing. Look at the kind of humiliation they're trying to hurl at Smriti Irani, almost saying that she is not worth contesting more than by a family retainer or a peon, and saying that she will lose her relevance. What relevance does the persons who are commenting they have? They have never fought an election in their life, and that is what irks me maximum. And whenever I hear more of these, I really get riled. No matter how much I think I should be apolitical, and also this whole record of what the family did and what their family didn't do and how they cried, lost the dad, lost this. And so Modi's other party, I don't know whether you saw when he talked about Ansu today, that speech, that I think was really, really powerful. And and that's where they make a mistake. They make say something, and that's more than the Bhagavad.
Okay, so got it. So
Yeah.
got it. Basically, you're saying they suffer from three venal diseases. One is arrogance, the second is denial, and the third is complete ignorance of ground realities. So let's go to someone who is good with ground, not necessarily realities. That's Pallavi Ghosh. What are your views, since you claim to have covered the Congress before it was founded by A.O. Hume? You can wipe your lips at, because we don't want food spluttering on the screen.
Guys, I am not in a comfortable lawn or park as some people are overseas. And the two people, men who are smug and sitting there, I'm actually on the ground and sweating and having this local dhaba wala
Okay, we don't
chai.
want
And I'm
hygiene
in my
issues here
80s.
discussed. Okay, we don't discuss hygiene issues, sweating. Only horses sweat. Human beings perspire. But that's for another
That's
grammatical
that's not true.
journey that you need to take.
That's
I'm
not true.
sweating. Huh,
But
go ahead.
I,
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
I'm okay. On a serious note, right? I'm in Amethi. I've been here since yesterday and today also, of course, and speaking to a large number of people without camera. So what happens when you speak without camera? They're more candid and they open up. I found a sense even among the Qattar. I went to those areas which are the core Congress voters areas. There is anger, not disappointment. Because disappointment is very mild. It's anger. It's a sense of betrayal. And they feel that there is no reason. This whole logic of KL Sharma is being our man. They are saying if he can go to Rai Bareli, what stops him? And even people who one would rubbish off as maybe they're not educated and all of that, but even they are saying that we have also failed so many times, but we keep give an exam again and again. And I found villagers saying this to me. There was a 90-year-old man who said that to me today. He said, "Bro, हम भी हारते हैं. मेरा पोता जब एग्जाम में फेल करता है, we don't tell him कि आप तुम्हें एग्जाम मत दो, कुछ और दो. We expect him to give the exam again."
Well, it had
Now
to
what is
happen.
happening? No,
Oh
he's
dear.
frozen. Good. In any case, it doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah.
So
Anything that you touch, you're a panoti. Anything that you touch gets bloody goes to the cinders. So basically, we've heard you with your 90-year-old man story and all that. Dipankar, what do you feel, my friend, about what's
one
happening
more thing
in
I
the
wanted to
country?
say, can I just finish it? Just one quick word.
Yeah,
Congress is now
yeah.
playing this game where they are saying that we have shown Aukat to Smriti Irani. She got a moment of fame and glory when she defeated Rahul Gandhi. Ab koi Amethi ko bhi nahi पूछेगा, and no one will ask her. BJP will also not care a shit about her because she doesn't
So
have.
brilliant. So basically,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
we've
the
answered.
argument.
You start being précis in your conversation. So basically, Dipankar and Shandip, what they seem to suggest is every time they lose. So let's imagine, and not imagine, it's not difficult to imagine, the Congress doesn't form government. They'll say that it's not worth fighting the Indian election. They might as well go to Greenland or Fiji. So what are your views on this whole snafu, Dipankar?
Uh, Three issues out here. Look, I think what has happened in Raebareli and Amethi is absolutely clear. They've given up on Amethi. Raebareli, they thought is somewhat safer. And instead of getting Priyanka Gandhi to fight on that, I think this, let us face it, I've heard all inputs, and this is my inescapable. I've come to this conclusion that Rahul does not want Priyanka to fight Raebareli, and there's a reason for this.
Very
You
true.
know, prior to fighting in Amethi, you had Smriti Irani investing 5 years of efforts in Amethi. Now, in
Correct.
Raebareli, nobody in a sense has done that. Dinesh Pratap Singh, who fought last year, who's fought this year, does not seem to have given the kind of effort and the hype, with the high profile hype that Smriti Irani did. Therefore, it is safe to assume that Raebareli is much, much safer than for the Congress than Amethi is, because after winning, Smriti Irani has not been an absentee Lok Sabha member. She has been there, and Amethi has seen development. So going to places where there are Qattar Congress voters anyway, I think cannot detract from the fact that Smriti Irani must have made it somewhat of a base. Now, of
So
course,
I want
there
to
are
ask a
rumors
simple
that
one minute. I want to ask
yeah,
a simple question to all the panelists and take turns in answering it.
yeah,
It is quite clear that Rahul Gandhi and the Gandhi family are completely out of sync with either the aspirations of the Congress or the aspirations of the Indian electorate.
yeah.
How long before the Congress dumps Rahul Gandhi and or the family? A, B, will they ever do it? Because many years ago, someone from the Congress said, Gandhis are the glue that bind the Congress. But what kind of glue is that, which is no longer sticking either in electoral terms or in respect terms? Shandip.
I think yeah, sure. You're on mute,
Yes.
Shandip. You're on mute.
I still think that there is really no one to displace the Gandhis just now, not because of anything else, because they have successfully dwarfed all the leaders or inducted such dwarfs or people who today call the shots in the party, who are the so-called power centers. They are ruthless wonders. They don't have any thing. So how can they oust Rahul Gandhi? It is only the entire organization is going to shrink and become irrelevant. And more of these people, just look at this. Arvinder Lovely from Delhi, Pradesh Congress chief, he has quit and he's joining BJP now. I quite like this term Nistula tweeted called eminenting. She says that eminenting has become a term. Every day some new eminent person is joining BJP. Now, that is a situation when more and more eminenting will happen, and a few other people left, they'll go their own way, and then Congress will be run. And from there, that time maybe something can happen. But till that happens, these people will continue to control, and all the external
Pallavi,
elements.
he says hi to you. Okay. So
So all the
basically,
Is he
Sandeep,
perspiring?
no, he's got better hygiene than someone I know. So basically, Sandeep, I have a slight disagreement. I want Dipankar to comment on it.
Why don't you
They
just sit down,
needn't
Suhel?
oust Rahul Gandhi because I'm an exercise freak. They needn't oust Rahul Gandhi. What they can do is split the party, make the Gandhi faction or the Gandhi party only have 3 members and 4 with Vadra. So where do you see this going, Dipankar?
Look, let us first talk about this glue factor. We seem to forget, and we should not, the people of our age, from 91 to 96, the Gandhis were not at the forefront of the Congress or national events, and
Very
Narasimha
true.
Rao and the others ran the Congress as well as the government very, very well. And if the government fared
Excellent.
badly, Congress fared badly, it was because of Sonia's insistence that they go into a partnership in Tamil Nadu with, that they should not go into partnership in Tamil Nadu with the DMK. Otherwise, they would have got 39 seats out there, and the Congress would have been again in a striking distance of power. So let's get one other thing clear. You see, it needs one more election loss, especially a particular heavy election loss, and a couple of years more. I think if that happens, even if Rahul Gandhi does not get the signal or see the writing on the wall, other congressmen will. And I think after that, 1,001 things can occur. Regional satraps, chieftains can come together, and basically, once that momentum, it takes somebody to organize this. Once that, attains a certain momentum, things can happen. All this talk about the glue holding them together, I think is overrated, because we have seen the
Pallavi,
Congress and the nation do well.
Pallavi,
I disagree with you on that, Professor. I think it's a glue. No matter however weak it may seem, there's not one Congress. There are many Congresses. There are many leaders with multiple ambitions, and they're going to start nurturing each other should the Gandhis not be there. You saw what happened in UPA. I saw the unraveling of the UPA government because it was not a Gandhi prime minister. Because it was a Dr. Manmohan Singh, there were other ministers who felt that he was our contemporary. Why should he be our boss? And that led to the disarray of the UPA. I'm telling you because I used to
but
cover,
he
so I
served
used
2
to know.
terms. But
He served
Pallavi,
two
he
terms
served
because
2 terms.
he served
Manmohan
two
Singh
terms,
served 2 terms.
mind you, he served 2 terms because Sonia Gandhi completely, every time she sensed that things could fall apart, that there was going to be a rebellion, she would jump in. I remember it was at least in 4 press conferences where she would butt in and say he is the prime minister, he'll always remain the prime minister. That is one word she
So
gave.
I think that's a
She knew
great
what was
point
going on.
Pallavi's made. Pallavi, 1 minute. I want to ask you, would things have been different if Sonia Gandhi was running the party? It's quite clear that Rahul Gandhi is running it. Would things have been different if Sonia was running it today,
Absolutely.
like she ran it earlier?
Absolutely, 100%.
So what
Because
would be
more
different?
people listen to her. What would be different is I think they would have handled this Amethi Raebareli crisis much, much better. I think it was ridiculous because it is at 7:50 a.m. on the day of the nomination, which ends at 3 p.m. that a Congress list came out. She understands the sense of timing. She also understands how to play to the media. For a person who's very reticent, doesn't want to give interviews, she knew how to work with the media in her own way. She had those people who used to, plant cover, backroom, and all of that. ये सब अब नहीं होता है. So that is where she would have been different. She would have made it look more graceful. This is looking horrible the way it happened. I mean, there is no explanation whatsoever that the Gandhis is there. KL Sharma is a part of the Gandhi family and therefore he's contesting from there. I think it would have been handled better. They should have announced this much, much
So let's
earlier.
so let's
She would have ensured that.
so let's so let's go back to a point that Shandip made. is there any truth in this so-called rumor that Mrs. Gandhi or Rahul actually doesn't want Priyanka or Robert on the scene? What do you
Robert,
sense,
yes, they
Pallavi?
don't.
Because
Robert, yes, they don't think that he's the right person to come into active politics yet. Priyanka, well, she's ambitious, and I saw your tweet, Suhel. Definitely the one who it grabs more headlines. Definitely the person who gives it back to the PM
and
very,
more
very
astute.
strongly on the right one, and very astute. She understands the media. It's not just about Indira Gandhi, but she understands from Sonia how to play with the media. The thing. But the fact is, precisely because she is so good in communication, there is a Rahul Kotri, including Mrs. Gandhi, who would never be comfortable with the idea of a Priyanka Gandhi Vadra being active. So what I was told
So
is that
let's
when that
understand.
big meeting
Let's.
took
I think
place,
this is 1 minute. I think this is
so
going
when
well.
that
So
one
now
last
let's
point,
understand.
that
1
one
minute.
last point,
Let's
well,
understand
one last
who.
point I had to add to it. Can I just say
Yeah,
this?
go
This
ahead.
makes point sense. So in the last meeting which took place the night before the list was announced, again the point was made by Rahul Gandhi that it look very bad if you have all three Gandhis inside Parliament. That makes no sense to me, but that was what was said.
So tell me, who, according to you, and only speak if you know, Pallavi. If you don't know, keep eating. Who, in your mind, is effectively Rahul's coterie? In the sense, I used to have a saying: the most powerful man in the country is who whispers into the prime minister's ear before he goes to bed. Who's the person who whispers into Rahul Gandhi's ears before he goes to bed?
KC Venugopal is powerful. Rahul Gandhi trusts him implicitly. And of course, he has his own office. But quickly, two, three names, if you ask me, it's KC Venugopal, then it's KC Venugopal, then it's Jairam Ramesh. And yeah, I mean, these are the people he believes in. Sam Pitroda
Where's
also.
Kanishk Singh?
But see, they are a part of his office. Kanish now only handles some appointments and the legal stuff. See, there's a difference between those who are part of his office and those who are his advisors. He, I would say, KC Venugopal is to Rahul Gandhi what say an Ahmed Patel or a Pranab Mukherjee in some extreme used to be for Sonia Gandhi. But I think again, I don't agree. You cannot blame the advisors. At the end of the day, I have to be astute. If I'm the politician, I'm the leader. I should decide. Okay, this opinion has come. This opinion come. I decide. I take the final.
So, Shandip, I want to reflect on a point which is related to this Daro mat, Bhago mat. There is a sense within the country that are we ascribing to the 2004 syndrome, where victory was announced before victory was experienced. And if you remember, I even wrote at that point in time in April of that year that India shining is a horrible adage example to use because India was not shining across India. Do you believe the optimism of the BJP and or the pessimism of the Congress qua the BJP?
See,
Unmute
I
your.
person, yeah, I personally feel there is no reason for the people to reject BJP. There is no simmering anger or there, people, whether you call it unemployment, anything, there is a certain element. People always compare how they would be in anybody else's place and how do they see the future. And I think Narendra Modi still inspires hope. BJP might lose seats and numbers because of some mathematical errors or seat distribution. As one of you said earlier, there is strong anti-incumbency. I know at the local levels because some of these MPs they've neither worked, they've been arrogant, they've been corrupt, and they even now, they are behaving as if they're already in government and they throw about their weights. All those local anti-incumbencies are there. So therefore, some of their calculations would go all right. Like Rajasthan, I think they're going to lose seats, and people are saying anything between 5 to 10. Now, whether that's going to turn into a wave, and because these are all first past the goalpost kind of a scene and lose more, or what Congress is saying that okay, South mein saaf, whether that's going to be Tamil Nadu, we all knew nothing's going to happen. Kerala
No,
also,
so
right?
net
Okay.
net, just tell me net, what do you feel?
I
Who
still
is
think
going to be
I
India's
still
next prime minister after two rounds
I
of
think still
voting? What is
Modi will
your
become a next prime minister. I am
so
quite clear.
let me place certain hypotheses for all three of you, but first Dipankar. Hypothesis one. BJP is the single biggest party, but it is not over 300, and the allies are uncomfortable with a very strong, decisive leadership in the form of Modi. What happens to Modi? Hypothesis two, that BJP and the NDA form government, but NDA has more clout. What happens then? Number three, BJP on its own gets about 300, 303, 310 seats. What happens then?
You see, what I see is hypothesis three. I think that's very, very clear. The BJP will get enough numbers to form the government on its own, but it will call it the NDA government. But in either of the three cases, I don't think a Congress-led government is brought in.
Fair.
Look,
Fair
I
enough.
don't think even if the BJP does not get majority, none of the allies would be so presumptuous as to dictate to the BJP who the prime minister will be. The deals will be made party vis-a-vis party, party vis-a-vis party, as to get who will get what posts, and at some policy level adjustments that have to be made. But
And
I
therefore,
do
you're
not.
saying there is no challenger. Therefore, you're saying there is no challenger to the Prime Minister, to Mr. Modi from within the BJP right now.
No,
That's what
I
you're
don't
saying?
think there is any challenger. Even
Fair
if there
enough.
was,
Perfect.
the fact is it's a disciplined party, and the challenger would not at least express his ambitions that openly so as to encourage the NDA allies to say, this is the guy we want. That's not going to happen.
Got it. Okay. Pallavi?
I think the BJP and NDA will be 300 plus, and that's one. And the second thing is, of course, if NDA and this are forming, it's going to be the prime minister. Yeah, pretty much that. As brief as
Okay.
I can be.
Sandip?
Uh, I see, I don't see that BJP really falling that low unless, because the point Suhel we were making about 2004 and now, the difference is, if you see, Narendra Modi is no longer talking about economy and, Vishwaguru and any of a G20 or any of that. He has now come down to brass tacks. He is not even talking about the Labarthi schemes. So BJP is very clear. They keep on changing the goalpost day after day. And now,
And phase
and
by
that's
phase,
part of
phase by phase. Let's not forget that the third phase is very critical.
So phase by phase they're doing. And I think there are certain other calculus they had up there. You see, Narendra Modi is not a fool to think that, by doing so many rallies in Tamil Nadu, they're going to sweep Tamil Nadu. They are realistic about it, but they must have had some other calculation why he was doing so many rallies there and in Kerala to put disproportionate amount of not only time but resources and everything else. So
Yeah, but he's a
this
master strategist. He did that in Bengal in 2019. It will yield results in Lok Sabha. So he operates on a duality of purpose, which, by the way, is actually what a chess player should be doing, not someone who thinks he's a great chess player. But we'll come to that later. Then?
So, so I don't see this thing going through. I think when June 4th, all of us who've been supporting BJP, we will we'll be happy. We all had our moments of anxiousness before the last elections as well in
No, you don't
2019.
speak for everyone. You will support BJP. I will support whoever forms the government because he'll be my
Yeah,
prime minister. You don't speak for all of
exactly.
us, Sandeep. Yeah,
I'm
you
not
may
here
be
to make any
partially right.
political
We are
points.
partially, yeah, we are not supporting any one particular person. But whoever becomes the Prime Minister of India will be our Prime Minister, and we will defend both the office
Correct.
and his respect to the end of our lives. That we will do. But we are not supporting anyone. So let me make this clear that this is a neutral platform for expressing
Yes.
opinions, ideas, and thoughts without planting it on any of our very wise, intelligent audience, which is now live.
For a
Dipankar,
change,
what
I
are your
agree
views,
with
my friend?
Suhel.
that's a good
I don't I
caveat.
don't need your agreement. I don't need your agreement, Pallavi. And flattery doesn't work with me. I'm not Julius Caesar. Dipankar, tell us.
In the interest of disclosure, I must say that I am expecting and hoping Narendra Modi to come back to power.
Fair enough.
But
Fair enough.
okay, sure. So I know in the interest of fair disclosure, I did that. Now, there's a point. If you look at 2004, the BJP as an organization was far looser than it is currently. This is now an organization that has been transformed by Amit Shah, and JP Nadda, in a sense, has done a competent job. Every vote will be fought for. Number two, look at the various states. In 2004, even in 99, they had done very badly in UP. They made a mess of it in Bihar. They got it all wrong when they had a coalition in Tamil Nadu, and a coalition partner in Andhra Pradesh lost. If you look at the BJP today, where it has got the maximum seats, its alliances are tight. In Maharashtra, of course, there's a contest because the other alliance is also tight. But if you look at the organization of the BJP and the relatively disorganized fashion in which the Congress is going about in this particular polls, I think it is fairly certain that our talk about 2004 is led more by anxiety in some quarters, fervent hope in other quarters, but there is really no parallel.
So let's come to a very quirky but very relevant point, which is a single word called succession. The Prime Minister is 74. He'll be 75 next year. He had consigned people who were 75 and above to a Margdarshan Council. Obviously, we don't expect him to retire, but we do expect, in the fitness of things, some kind of succession planning. Even if there is no succession planning, what does this panel feel about two things? Number one, if, God forbid, the Prime Minister were to demit office for any reason, who do you think is the most likely candidate given the vision, the template, and the journey that he has embarked on? And two, how will it happen? Sandip.
See, as of now, I think in terms of the overall control, everything else, Amit Shah is really controlling. A lot depends on the party's control. Yogi is very strong. Yogi is doing UP, but unless there is a still groundswell for him, like it happened for Modi immediately for him to move into Delhi, I see a problem there. Although UP is a very different state from Gujarat, where Narendra Modi was at that point in time, but it will require a strong groundswell. That change
Does
can
RSS
happen
have any
later.
clout? Does the RSS have any clout under Modi? Because Modi's kind of marginalized them from what it seems.
RSS does have a clout, Suhel. Right now, Modi may have, you say, marginalized or got them under control, but RSS will have a clout. But today's new BJP is far more than RSS. You know, that's what Nalin Mehta wrote in his
Exactly.
book. The number of ground workers, poll booth workers, and the digital connect with Amit Shah and people have built. BJP's organization by itself, the new BJP, is far more powerful than RSS, except in certain states like Madhya Pradesh and some parts of Hindi heartland. RSS is no longer that effective. And to be honest, I don't think RSS by itself can deliver victory for BJP today on its own. Like earlier, when we used to talk of only the Hindi-speaking states, RSS had a decisive effect. But now it's to get to 330 or 303, you need much more than RSS to start with, and that's what Amit Shah and Modi have managed, and that's why today I think Amit Shah has an edge over Yogi if you were to talk nationally.
Okay, got it. Okay, Pallavi.
I can't think of the same BJP minus the Narendra Modi factor. So I will. I don't think the BJP will be as strong it is now minus the Narendra Modi factor. And RSS
But
is
this is what
important,
people,
but
Pallavi
RSS.
said. But this is what people said about Indira Gandhi, that she was invincible. The country would go asunder, but the country survived even
No,
after
I'm not talking about
she
the country. I'm
tragically
talking
passed
about the
away.
party. I'm not talking about the country. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the party. After Indira Gandhi, look at the state of the Congress party. They have been
Why? It
spurts when
formed
they've
government
done very well,
twice.
when they were
No,
strong.
no, it formed
Forming
government
government does
twice.
not necessarily
After
mean.
one minute, one
See,
minute.
post
Again, you're making
post
a mistake. After
Indira,
Indira Gandhi, hear me
no,
out. After Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi was in government. Narasimha
with the
Rao was in
sympathy.
government. Hear me out. Manmohan Singh was in government two
There was no
terms.
other
That was the
alternative.
Congress.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
So,
remember, the
let's
Congress for
not
the
predict the
first time.
future.
Congress, no, Congress, as I see now, things change. See, Congress was forced into go into a UPA alliance on its own. It couldn't have done it. That is what is going to happen in the BJP
So,
possibly, where there will be
so what are you
allies
saying?
who will become more
Oh,
ambitious. Minus Modi,
So,
he's also the same glue. Minus Modi, I think the BJP will become much weaker.
okay,
That
now,
doesn't mean it's going
Dipankar, I
to
want
end.
you to
Yeah.
comment on this. 1 minute, 1 minute. We've understood you, Pallavi. Don't repeat with us. We're not Advaita.
I'm the shortest
Dipankar,
person. Andy has given $5.
Pallavi's
Thank you, Andy.
Pallavi's made an important point, which I don't all necessarily agree with, but it's worth pondering over. She says that the BJP will not almost, will kind of disintegrate in the manner it is in today. To be fair, she hasn't said that. And therefore, it will also have a serious impact on the BJP with Mr. Modi's departure or his non presence. What do you think?
Look, I will say yes and no. It is true that Narendra Modi is the star campaigner of the BJP. But what he has done is in many states, he has pulled BJP across that mark, where it is either in the government or it's a government in waiting. So, you could lose, but you would probably win the next election based on anti incumbency, whatever. Look, Narendra Modi will manage his succession. I think it will happen at the end of this particular term. And it is, I think it is foolish to assume that it will be Amit Shah. You see, when
I
managing
so
his
totally
succession,
agree.
you know, I think when managing his succession, Amit Shah will also play a role, and he may, in his own interest as well as the party's interest, decide this. The Modi Shah may decide that somebody else should take on the reins. Look, there are some people who are still working. I mean, Yogi still does not have the kind of years behind him as Modi had when he basically made that leap for central leadership. Among the states,
Yes and no. Yes and no. Modi had
okay,
3 terms. By the time
yes,
this next Lok Sabha is over, Yogi will have 3 terms. So it's
right.
incorrect to believe that Yogi will lack administrative experience.
No, he won't lack administrative experience. But what I'm saying is, as of now, you don't know. But 4 or 5 years hence, I feel Yogi will definitely be a player, and that will depend on how delivers he how well he delivers UP to the
Okay,
BJP
got it.
in
So
2027.
got it. I want to reflect on a couple of things because we are smack in the middle of the election season. I want to start with Pallavi. There are 3 or 4 things that have happened which have never happened before. Number one, the scrutiny, the criticism, the abuse that the election commission has come under. It's never happened before. It is now seen as a partisan. It is not seen as autonomous. Number two, the political discourse has never been as vituperative, as abusive, as downright deathly. It's never happened before. Number three, the social media as well as the traditional media have totally taken stances, which, by the way, where I am in the United States, it's fair game. Newspapers, channels actually begin to endorse candidates well before. So, Pallavi, what are you seeing as a person who's covered election after election? What are you seeing this election as? What are the lessons that we have learned? What are the danger marks that we should be aware of?
The danger mark is definitely the social media because now it's completely free for all. That is something where the EC can't control. See, that's the thing. Election commission, even something as simple as the cooling off period. 24 hours before you're going to go and poll, they say it's a cooling off period, no campaigning. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop because it's happening on the social media. Some of the language which is used on social media is picked up. And even if the EC has censored a candidate and said, you can't do this, you can't say this, and remove your comment, it's there in the space. And there are enough of those armies, those backroom people on both the sides. And now it goes on and on and on. So that is one big problem which is there. And I think that is what is very different. There is no stopping this vitriolic speech. There are people who are closet party spokespersons. Some of them are open about it and so on and so forth. So I think that is what is really detrimental. And even the media has been dragged into it. There is a media which
Okay.
is deeply divided. If I say, just to give a quick example, if I say this road is good, I'm going to be called Bodhi. If I say this road is not good, I'm going to be called a Piddi. So either which way, you're not going to win this argument. You're not even allowed to criticize anymore, either which way. And
So,
equally,
what
you're not
about
allowed
the
to
election
praise.
commission?
So
What
the
about the
election
election
commission,
commission and the
see,
scrutiny
EC,
it has come
so but
under?
EC can't control social media. That is something which they have been
You're not
discussing.
again talking about social media. You don't understand English or what? I'm saying, what about the election commission? They've been flooded with complaints. The opposition has said whenever we complain, no one listens. When the BJP complains, the election commission act.
But the
Are
election
they
commission
trying
has
to?
given a notice
Are they
both to
trying
Rahul
to
Gandhi
hear
as
me
well as
out?
to the
Are
PM.
they trying to? Yeah, but are they trying to corner the election commission? What is exactly happening with the election commission?
So the election commission has given a notice both to the PM as well as to Rahul Gandhi. I also agree that there are times when the EC is more sluggish when it comes to people from within the BJP or the top notch in the government. There's no denying the fact. So the EC has also spoiled its own reputation in many respects because of this
Exactly.
sluggishness.
That's what I wanted to know.
So that's what I've told you.
So the election commission has never been under this kind of cloud before. Is that what you're saying?
Under this kind of scanner before.
Okay,
Cloud
got it.
they've had more.
Shondeep.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Shondeep,
I,
what are your
yeah,
views?
my view is I think the election commission is being vilified very badly, just like many other institutions in the country. I heard, Mr. Sibel's comment that day. He said that Supreme Court has said we must trust the EVM, but can we trust the election commission? He said that on his show. Now, if people
Yeah,
like
and he
him
also
are
abused the Supreme Court, saying it will not be remembered as the golden hour of the Supreme Court. So he said that before also. You're right.
yeah, they're saying so. There are so many people. You see the point Pallavi is saying about scrutiny. We know that how independent election commission was under MS Gill or when Naveen Chawla was on the commission or Lindo or anybody else. But at that time, there was no counter voice. BJP didn't have that kind of a voice opposition to really raise the ante in the way today is happening. So today there is this whole organized thing, and more importantly, within that, the so-called opinion makers who are still powerful, the old lobby, they are all ganging up against these institutions. So if Supreme Court gives a negative judgment immediately, or a pro-BJP judgment, somewhere pro-government judgment, immediately they are pounced upon. The same Chief Justice, if they pounce upon him, but then suddenly he becomes a hero if he's given something. So I think this whole attempt to, if people are criticizing CBI, ED, it's one other matter. But to bring down institutions like the Supreme Court, Election Commission, and all, I think there's a huge damage they're
So
doing to
basically,
our
let me
democracy.
understand where you're coming from. You, Shondeep Ghosh, on this program are saying that a lot of the abuse and a lot of the criticism hurled onto the election commission is unfair. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
It is motivated and not fair.
Absolutely. And
Okay,
not just
got it.
criticism, but if they're taking further. You see, just if there was a criticism about one decision, I can understand. Like Pallavi is saying, here you have dragged you. But if you are questioning the entire, the integrity of the institution, that's far more serious.
Okay, got it. Dipankar, what are your views?
Look, when it comes to the vituperative language that politicians are using against one another, let us face this. This started with Mrs. Gandhi when the opposition thought it had no chance of getting back to power. And the language used by Lohia and the others vis-a-vis Mrs. Gandhi, that used to be very bad. And the laws that you see today, I think, have started from that. So the it's not the Congress which introduced this. It was the then opposition parties which introduced this. And what social media has done is the following: the gutter language, which was once restricted to the gutter and the toilets, social media technology has enabled this language to be heard by all concerned. So the
To come
language was
mainstream.
all there. Yeah, now it's become pretty much mainstream. I think we can't do much about it. Hopefully, if we become better behaved, more educated. I don't know what that means now. We probably will become better at that. When it comes to the election commission, I think what we see out here is the desperation of certain people who believe that the present dispensation it cannot be removed, because it's not the easy sluggishness vis-a-vis some speech made by some politician somewhere that's driving this. If you look at everything, it is basically their distrust, supposed distrust about EVMs, which is pushing this entire thing. And the kind of stories being manufactured about EVMs by people who should know better, lawyers of the Supreme Court, senior counsels, I think that is sad. When you have the Supreme Court judge putting you in your place by saying, look, we know what you have used to happen 2 decades since, we remember that. And still you go on peddling these particular lies. It shows how desperate you are. And the maligning of the election commission is basically a sign of desperation, that you are basically flailing at the shadows. And that is a reflection of you, and we see that
Okay, got it, got
reflection.
it. Got it. Now I want to come towards the end of the program. We've said we'll do 45 minutes. And I want to ask a
I've got to
very,
leave
very
also.
important, fundamental question. Modi, just before
कितना हुआ चाय
polling
का?
began, Modi started this 100-day thing. You know what would be the 100-day agenda? What, in the three of your minds, what do you think are the significant changes we will see both in the polity and the policy of India when Narendra Modi and if Narendra Modi becomes prime minister? What are the 2 or 3 major things you think are going to happen to India as a country, India as an economy, and India as a republic? Shondeep.
UCC uniforms.
I asked
Can I
Shondeep.
just say this?
Your name is not Shondeep.
Sorry.
Okay, you start. Pallavi, you start. Sorry.
Okay, because I have to go. I have to leave for Lucknow. It
Yeah,
is
we've understood.
UCC.
Start. Okay.
It's a uniform civil code, definitely. That's what he's going to come and bring it. Economically, I think they are going to start opening up a bit more. They'll insist more and more on a little bit of foreign investment, but we are also going to start exporting more, and the focus will be on the self-reliance. Bring down on your imports on defense, all of that he's going to insist on to increase the GDP, shoot up all of that, infrastructure development, and more of self-reliance, Atmanirbhar. That is going to get a huge pitch.
Okay. Dipankar?
You see, I think the government knows that he now has to deliver on economics. When he took over charge, you had a sorry situation where the banks was concerned and the corporations were concerned. In the second term, he was hit by COVID. Now, any excuse, there will be practically no excuse for this government not to deliver on the economy. And we have to now see actual results. That is, we have to see high growth rates, we will have to see high levels of employment generation, and we will have to see low prices. So they will have to do whatever is required to make that happen. So I see a lot of things on the ease of doing business. For example, I expect to see land acquisition laws being simplified no matter what. This is why I don't think they will take the kind of the opposition that they took in the first term. I think you will have very simple codes for foreign direct investment. You will have a whole lot of reforms and privatization. I think a significant portion of the railways also, in a sense, will be up. We will have to do these things. Now, apart from the economics, where he has to deliver, I think we'll also see UCC, but we will also see a lot of initiatives where the country's Indic culture is mainstreamed, if not into the constitution, certainly into our way of thinking and talking. You will see a more Bharatiya India.
Will you see a more feared India, fearful India, muscular India?
That is
Dipankar?
basically, look. That's, today when you build a larger version of the Sarnath lions, you have donkeys saying, oh my God, these lions which were like tabby cats, lovable, have turned fearful. that is, in your mind. So I won't even dignify that question with an answer. That's all.
Okay. Shondeep.
Let's take one step. One is economics, definitely, but in economics, what he'll have to do, he'll have to align at least all the states which are BJP ruled states to deliver, because without working in tandem, real speaking, the double engine Sarkar, he cannot really deliver real reforms. And that he has to do, how to silence the Western lobby or anybody. As long as they see India as an economic power, they can do business here. They're going to fall in line. So he has to do that both for internal and external reasons. So that will be there. He has to do a lot of cleaning up within the BJP. And I think Narendra Modi is sharp enough to realize that that needs to be done. And so he will do, I think, a lot of cleaning up within the BJP, especially at the state levels, and he's going to act at that point in time. These bits, whatever UCC, etc., you're saying, I think that will be lot of it will be related to internal security and these border issues where he sees danger rather than just pursuing a Hindutva agenda. So that's how those things are going to go forward, is my take.
So I want to end this show on what I would refer to as cautious optimism. There is no question that India has moved the needle as an economy on the respect quotient, on the reward quotient, and on the global table of economic brotherhood in a significantly optimistic, positive manner. There have been voices of dissent. I've often said that the hatred for Modi personally has inadvertently or perhaps advertently translated into a hatred for everything that's good about our country, which, by the way, is sad. The opposition will suffer for treading this particular path of unmitigated hatred without substantiating, without substance, and without any reason. I also believe, and this is what I feel, you will see a much more empathetic, a much kinder, a more compassionate Narendra Modi in the third term. I think what the Prime Minister has done are two things. One is he has shown how individual leadership can actually turn the fortunes of 1.4 billion people for the better. He has also shown that when you lead from the front and you lead with singular strength and decisiveness, you cannot be answering every single negative comment on both your leadership and your vision. To that end, his insulation is actually a tribute to his leadership. It is not a criticism of it. On that note, I want to thank each of you. I want to thank Advaita Kala for her absence, because the show went on beautifully without any issues. But we wish her well. She's the reason for us being here. And I hope each one of you goes out and votes. Signing off from Central Park on a reasonably sunny morning. This is your faithful slave on the Sunday Club, wishing each one of you a very happy weekend. May you experience the joys of India with your family and whoever else you're with. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.